You might think the future is all about brand new ideas, but it's actually haunted. And I mean that in the absolute best way possible. Today, we're going to decode the invisible layer of ancient stories that's secretly powering our hyper-modern world.
So let's kick things off with a little puzzle. Just look at these two images. One is this incredible ancient Greek statue. The other, one of the most recognized logos on the entire planet. What in the world could they possibly have in common? Well, the connection is way more direct than you might think. Okay, so on the left, you've got the Nike swoosh. You see it every day, right? It's a symbol of speed, of victory. But it's directly inspired by the statue on the right. That is a sculpture of Nike, the actual Greek goddess of victory. The company didn't just get inspired by her, they named the whole brand after her. And get this, that famous swoosh, it's not just some abstract shape they came up with. It's meant to be her wing, a symbol of divine flight. And that right there, that's the whole idea for today. Our modern technology is absolutely layered with these ancient stories. So let's dive in and start decoding them. First up, we're going to look at the hidden language that you use every single day, embedded in the symbols right there on your screen. I want you to think about the Bluetooth symbol. We use it all the time, right? Click it, connect our headphones, and we don't give it a second thought. But that design is anything but random. Its origin story comes directly from a Viking king way back in the 10th century. Okay, so that symbol is what's called a bind rune. It's actually two Old Norse letters merged together, H and B. Why H and B? They're the initials of King Harald Bluetooth Gormson. And here is the really brilliant part. King Harald was famous for uniting all the warring tribes of Denmark. So what does Bluetooth technology do? It unites all our different devices. It's a perfect historical metaphor hiding in plain sight. This is actually part of a much larger design philosophy called skeuomorphism. It's a big word, but a simple idea. It's when a digital object keeps some design features from its original physical version. The classic example is the save icon. It's a floppy disk. The physical object is totally obsolete, but its little digital ghost lives on, bridging that gap between old tech and new action. And this rabbit hole goes so much deeper. The USB symbol, that wasn't just chosen at random. It's designed to look like Poseidon's trident, the mythological staff that gave him command over the seas. How perfect is that for a universal connector that brings order to all our different devices? Or look at the command key. That shape is based on a Swedish road sign that points to a castle, a place of command. Even the power symbol tells its own little story. It's the 1 and the 0 of binary code, squished together to mean on and off. Okay, now let's see how this whole idea scales up. We're moving from simple icons on a screen to entire corporate identities that are worth billions. And this is not just about finding cool-sounding names. No, this is a deliberate strategy. Brands will intentionally borrow the power and authority of ancient gods to give their products a sense of meaning, of wisdom, or even allure. It's a process called sacralization, literally making something commercial feel sacred. Just think about it. The company Oracle doesn't need a huge ad campaign to explain its complex data services. The name itself suggests the Oracle of Delphi, a source of ultimate truth and foresight. Or what about Starbucks? Their logo is a siren, the mythical creature who lured sailors in with her irresistible song. The subtext is pretty clear. Our coffee has that same seductive power. Maserati uses Neptune's trident, signaling total mastery over raw power. And Amazon evokes a tribe of fierce, unstoppable warriors, giving you a sense of vastness and strength. These are not just names. They are entire narratives embedded in a single word. So we've seen how these myths are baked into the tools and brands all around us. But what about us? What about how we, the users, are actually living out these ancient stories every single day? Every time you sit down to play a game, whether it's The Legend of Zelda or Cyberpunk 2077, you're not just a player. You are becoming the protagonist in a timeless story pattern. The mythologist Joseph Campbell called it the monomyth, or the hero's journey, and it exists in just about every culture on Earth. The entire game is literally designed to pull you through these ancient stages. Departure is you leaving your real-world couch and booting up the console. Supernatural aid isn't an angel, it's that NPC that gives you a critical item, or it's that rare weapon that finally drops. Initiation is the whole middle of the game, the series of boss fights and trials. Apotheosis, that's when you hit max level and you feel like a digital god. And the return is you jumping on Discord to share your achievements and tell the story of your victory. So here's the crucial point. This structure isn't just for fun. It taps into a really deep psychological need that we all have for struggle, for growth, and for transformation. Video games just happen to provide a safe space for us to enter that metaphorical cave and find that treasure. This brings us to our final, and maybe our most profound section, the modern technological quest to transcend our human limits, and, in a lot of ways, to play God. This is where the myths get very, very real. There's a philosophy called transhumanism, and it basically takes all those ancient human desires for godlike powers, immortality, knowing everything, and it tries to achieve them not through prayer or magic, but through science and technology. And the goals are just breathtakingly ambitious. We're talking about achieving invulnerability by ending disease and decay. We're talking about incorporality, leaving our fragile bodies behind to upload our consciousness. And finally, creating a kind of omniscience, a global network of knowledge that would act like an all-knowing mind. This isn't science fiction anymore. These are the stated goals of a very serious movement.
I mean, when we talk about editing the human genome with something like CRISPR, we are absolutely talking about wielding a godlike power to literally sculpt life itself. This is the modern version of the Prometheus myth. He stole fire from the gods. We're trying to take the very blueprint of life.
But, of course, this ambition isn't without its critics. Some philosophers see this whole drive not as a sign of hope, but as a kind of deep-seated despair, an inability to accept our natural, beautiful, and sometimes fragile limitations as human beings. And this fear of our own creations, well, that's a story as old as civilization. It runs all the way from the Golem of Prague, a creature made from clay and animated by mystical code, to the inscrutable black box AIs of today, neural networks that make decisions that even their creators can't fully understand. The old myth has returned. So when you pull back, the pattern is clear. Technology hasn't replaced mythology at all. It's just become its new host. You see it everywhere, from NASA's Artemis program, named for Apollo's twin sister, to the U.S. Space Force's Bifrost communication system, named after the mythical Norse bridge to the heavens. Which leaves us with a final, really crucial question. If all our technology today is built on the myths of the past, then what new myths are we creating right now? With AI, with virtual reality, with this quest for digital immortality? The stories we tell shape the tools we build, and then those tools shape the stories we can tell. The cycle continues, and we're not just living in it, we are actively writing the next chapter.